2 weeks. I'm done. You want to talk about regretting your vote?
I never thought I'd say that, but I regret my vote. I voted for Trump.
I voted for Trump, and I regret it now.
As a Hispanic, I voted for Donald J. Trump. Dude, I regret it so much, man.
I am regretting my vote for Donald Trump.
I voted for Donald Trump, and now I regret it.
A lot of people who were like me voted for Trump and have to account for that.
So why farmers are now on the internet crashing out just because they are losing workers? Nobody's showing up at farms anymore, and black folks have also refused to work on their field. Okay, so apparently all this while they were shouting how immigrants are taking away American jobs and all that, and they didn't have plans of those people who were going to take up the Americans' job. Like, they didn't have plans of that. No, you wouldn't tell me that they didn't know that when the immigrants go, their farms were going to be empty and they might be filing for bankruptcy. When the immigrants go, a lot of them might be losing their farms. Because definitely, if you are somebody who is, sending people away just because you feel that they are blocking your view, you should have other plans, right? Well, guys, I have some clips which I've gathered for you guys. I'll just let them roll. Then I'll come back with the commentary. Please let me know what you are thinking in the comments. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and do give the video a thumbs up. Credit to all creators on this video. So let's go watch. Then I'll come back with the commentary.
I wanted to start off by saying I did vote for Donald Trump. We are possibly going to lose our farm if NRCS doesn't hold up their contract with us on the EQIP program. So the reason that they're not able to hold up the contract is our EQIP program, which is cost sharing on fences, waters, a well, and some seedings, was funded by the Inflation Reduction Act. Because of the executive orders, there's a pause or a freeze on the funding through the Inflation Reduction Act, and they're not able to pay out on the stuff that we completed or anything going forward. I'm not the only one this is affecting. So there are other farmers in the comments saying that they're in the same boat that I'm in because they signed these contracts, and the contracts, so whenever I looked into the contract, I made sure that that funding was set aside. It wasn't funding that, well, we hope it's there whenever it's done. I made sure that that funding was set aside so that way before I made these business decisions, I knew that funding was there per contract. So they're backing out on the contract because they don't have the funding. They can't release the funds.
U.S. farmers are starting to regret their vote for Trump. From beekeepers to soybean to hay producers, all of them are starting to say, I never thought that voting for Trump 3 times would result in me losing tens of thousands of dollars. A beekeeper out of North Carolina says, yeah, I proudly voted for Trump all 3 times. I flew flags for him and put signs for him in the yard. But now I'm out tens of thousands of dollars due to lost federal funding and tariffs, so I cannot export my products, my honey and my wax, to other countries like I could before, and nobody's buying it in the United States. Hay producers in Idaho and Utah that export alfalfa hay to China are now seeing 135% tariffs put on their product, and all of a sudden, they don't have anywhere to ship it. They held it all winter in hopes of sending it off to China in the spring, and now China's not willing to buy. Soybean producers are once again being hit harder than they were in the first Trump administration, and China, for its part, has diversified where it pulls these products from, with Brazil becoming the #1 soybean exporter, and other countries picking up the slack for honey, for beeswax, and for hay around the world. Now, China's doing a great job diversifying, and the United States has relied on exports to China for so long that its farmers are going to just continue to suffer. Once again, the majority of them voted for Trump, and now they're finding out.
Well, it's official. The United States Senate is dead. Last night, the U.S. Senate announced to the world that they are no longer an independent legislative body. They announced to the world that they are nothing but an appendage of the Trump White House. Nothing but a rubber stamp for whatever the hell he wants to do. Because last night they voted to confirm Pete Hegseth as Secretary of Defense. A guy who is the single most unqualified Secretary of Defense in our nation's history. And not only is he unqualified in terms of his lack of relevant professional experience, but he is also disqualified because of his loathsome personal behavior and horrendous character. This is a really bad guy, and it is exceedingly dangerous to put this man in charge of the Department of Defense. But these senators on the Republican side, except for 3, all voted to confirm this man, who they all know has no business being Secretary of Defense. And they did it for one reason: because they are cowards. They are afraid to do what is right because they are afraid of Donald Trump. They are afraid that Donald Trump can end their political career with a single tweet if they get on his bad side. Because the base of the Republican Party is a cult in service of one man, Donald Trump. And if they don't do what he wants, they know that their career could be over in a second.
There's a whole lot of white people who are now upset that they voted for Trump. So I just want to point out this lesson and thing we do in the black community where we say, oh, skin folk and kin folk. Y'all voted for that man because he's white and you didn't want to see a black woman become the president. And now you see all skin folk and kin folk. I don't feel sorry for y'all at all.
MAGA, you do realize that the Republican Party, including Donald Trump, are using you. You see, as a Democrat, we've been used as well. For the past 60 years, the Democratic Party has used black people to push their liberal agenda. Now, that is me saying that I agree with you in principle, but I disagree with you when you vote against your own interests, and you see the results of your actions that you took this past November at the ballot box. You see that what is happening in Texas, it's not an anomaly. That is something that happened because of the failures of politicians that put money first. You see, children are dead. It doesn't matter the color of the children. Children are dead. And they are dead because of racism, hatred, and bigotry. They are dead because white folks voted against their own interests. They voted to gut programs that helps them out. Go figure. You see, both political parties, both, and this is coming from a Democrat, both of them has taken advantage of the poor and the indigent people. They are going to cause you to fight your brothers and sisters in the streets of this country, shed blood. The elites are. They are setting everything in motion, upsetting you, putting you in a place that you're going to have to make a decision here shortly to kill your brothers and your sisters, all while fighting against your best interests. You guys have a nice day.
So lots of these white folks have refused to go work. We've seen farmers who actually say that, they can't do much. They can't even do or work like the immigrants. And they cannot even take higher, the pay that they offer to these immigrants. Aside that, when they come to the field, they are not as sharp, as eager to work as that of the immigrants. And yet they voted against the immigrants in their farms. You guys, they literally voted against them. Now the immigrants are gone and they are all freaking out on the internet and asking for help, asking for mercy, looking for who to employ and putting out there that they are looking for farm workers and nobody's showing up. Their crops are going bad. Some of them are shutting down while others are filing for bankruptcy, and a lot of people are now reacting to it because they're like, but you guys actually did this to yourselves. Nobody legit voted against you, but you voted against yourself. So I'm just going to read out the comment section because a lot of people have something to say in the comment. Okay, some people saying pay them more. Okay, let them just keep working for you. Pay the white people to come work and all of that. So this one say pay your employees more. American people may be ready to work if they were paid more. I agree with part of what you said. I do have a garden and livestock, so I relate to that. Okay, this one said they're going to starve us out. And the creator said, I didn't think about that. I got to admit that would be very devious, but at the point I wouldn't put it past them. And they have all our people detained for weeks. That's why we don't want to go to work, or some are being detained. And this is a Latino talking because people were detained for weeks. Some of them are already sent back home, and you cannot expect the ones who have not been detained or been picked up by ICE to actually show up in your farm the next day, okay? Because now ICE is going to farms, right? And you cannot expect farm workers to just show up on farms just because you're who, and then people are not easily replaceable. They develop their skills over many, many years of expertise. So you cannot expect a white person who has never worked in farm just because they're looking for work and they come to your farm and start acting like those immigrants have worked there for years. Some 20, some 10, some 5, some even more. And you are not expecting those palm color to come to your farm and work like them. That's not even possible, right? Okay, so this one said livestock unattended. Would that be cows not getting milk? Because even if there's milk scarcity with cow, then everybody is roasted, I guess. These farmers don't need to invest their money only in America. You come to Africa, especially to come invest. Okay, so someone is just advising, okay, yes, you don't even have to think too hard. It's a serious ripple effect of negative imbalance, right? Damn shame. This will trigger more foreclosures and rental properties in a negative way also. Sadly, Texas and another red state voted for this. We want them. Now we all have to suffer the consequences of a greed-based vote. Like, people actually voted for this, okay, and now they are not crying that nobody's showing up at the work or at the farm, okay, nobody wants to come work on their farms anymore, and they are crying out, right? Yeah, would you blame them for not showing up? Is either alligator Alcatraz or being responsibly, owned by farmers? Owned, like, did you hear the word owned by farmers? I guess you must have heard that in films of those days, okay? Trump is destroying the US, doesn't add up. He's losing billions in trade. Everyone is turning away from USA and doing trade deals themselves. And this one said, I hope people see this because they haven't seen the woman, dying from this court. But now it's an entire state economy. Yes, we will feel it, but women have already been forgotten. Maybe food with open eyes, lives didn't. No men will die, and it will be more important, I guess. Wow. So this one said, when are people going to wake up and realize that Trump doesn't care about the US? He's only interested in using his presidency for his own financial gain. Just look at the new Trump phone, network. And what's even more laughable is the phones are made in China. So this one said, would you show up if you were going to be put in a jail, not knowing when you may go home? That's really painful, seriously. Okay, guys, this is what I have to read from the comment section. There are just so many of them. But let me know what you all think in the comment. Let's have that conversation. Please consider subscribing if you have not already. And don't forget to give the video a thumbs up. Credit to all creators on this video. I look forward to seeing you all on my next video. Please do well to drop your thoughts as well. Okay, see you guys next time. Bye, guys.